I do too. Lucas Glover going on 20 years as a professional. Turned pro at Bethpage in 2002, where he missed the cut. 7 years later, went back, won the U.S. Open.
And from Australia, Adam Scott.
It's not very often on a Sunday on the PGA Tour these days that there's two guys paired together that I played with on the PGA Tour. But I played with Lucas in that 2002 U.S. Open when he turned pro. And I do remember an incredibly talented young Adam Scott. Got his first win at TPC Boston in 2003. Because he drove it just like that. Really far and in the fairway.
Following this group.
Well, that's how you win a...
He turned a mediocre week into a great week right before our very eyes at the Travelers on Sunday. I think he shot 63 on camera with us. Trying to do the same thing here today.
That's one of the really neat things about this PGA Tour Live format is you get to watch every shot and see how a 63 comes together like we had with Jordan yesterday. But more importantly, see how sometimes these guys fight it off when they don't have their fastball and still manage to shoot even or one under.
I remember playing with Jumbo Ozaki.
Oh, yes.
In the Players' Championship. And they had a basket of Jumbos. He played the Bridgestone Jumbo. I looked it up. It was in there. Jumbo, Jet. All the Ozaki brothers had their own golf ball.
Jumbo knew how to win a golf tournament. Well over 100 of them, he claimed, in Japan. Adam was with us yesterday, John.
Type. You know, Johnny Miller and his half yards, or Ben Hogan, and you know those are people that had unrealistic expectations and then met them.
Well, I think that was, yeah, exactly. That's the point. You mentioned two of the best ball strikers of all time.
Right.
So can we really have those expectations?
Oh yeah, as a player, you're delusional. You're supposed to be. I'd like to see this guy get delusional. Both of these guys, actually, in this group, delusional about their putter. Convinced themselves, Vijay Singh convinced himself that he was the greatest putter in the world, in spite of all the evidence to the contrary. Yeah, that one just dove underneath the hole.
Well, we mentioned it yesterday. He hits a lot of putts like that. Look like they're going in, and then at the very last second, they dive out of the way.
Right out of the gate, just on top of the left lip. Oh, yeah, great putt. Great look, too.
Picking up where he left off yesterday, 66. Lucas Herbert, a winner on the European Tour earlier in the year.
This is a state that's meant a lot to him, and of course his first tour victory here in 2013. A lot to like about Harris English.
Well, absolutely. As we watch Matthew Fitzpatrick try to stuff one in on the first. And John, you've seen players lose their game and fall. Tom, I want to ask you a little bit about Bryson DeChambeau, because so far he has been spectacular this week coming back from COVID. And, well, it looks like Lucas is going to get a ruling. So let's begin our Bryson conversation.
putting, driving, and iron play, he's going to be tough to beat today.
And he can hit John Daly's old house from the tee on the driving range. It's about 340 yards to John's house, which used to sit right at the end of the driving range in that back left corner. Trees are in the way.
23 stick.
He's going to try to hit this over him. Just lift it straight up over the edge of that tree. And when you do that from the rough, you generally get a flyer. You got it over.
This is a guy to keep an eye on, right, Lucas Herbert? He is a ball. DJ, 2018, John, the 9-iron, the final frame of the tournament.
Well, he was hungry. He was ready to get in. He didn't want to mess around anymore, so he didn't.
A walk-off of sorts.
He looks thrilled.
He was pumped. This was Koepka.
Oh.
He had 91% up and down. And he only missed 2 putts all week inside of 10 feet. Great champions.
And great gentlemen.
If I'm not mistaken, John, he was Rookie of the Year on the Korn Ferry Tour, and then Rookie of the Year on the PGA Tour.
Player of the Year on the Korn Ferry, and then Rookie of the
And
Year.
for the United States.
Got a little facial growth, of course, but yeah, that victory at Riviera, I wonder in a way, as we watch him tee off here, great golf swing. Winning at home, the satisfaction of that moment, good tee shot there. You know, the rest of his year has not been fully embraced that.
He has. I think they all have. I mean, as you know, having really become one of America's greatest charities.
Down the hill for bogey, not the way you want to start your round.
This could be why that beard's gray on his caddy.
Just as I was pumping him up, saying, keep an eye on this young man, he comes out and does that for us.
You can make him in a hurry.
Tom, we were talking about how no golf course on the PGA Tour collects more balls in the water than this TPC Southwind.
It's amazing. You know, you right off.
Flip the channel.
Yes, he did.
Yes, you are 100% right. That is actually, I'd put it in the top 5. The 18th hole here is one of the top 5.
So StewartChink's only memory of going to the tournament as a youngster was watching Gary play golf. That is a thrill to be remembered for years.
I do believe he's overcome that. Trying to make this one.
Thrilled by some of the patients, the youngsters in the hospital. There's a good one below the hole. Well, he won, Tom, out in your neck. It can, that's a double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, of course.
Rory gets roasted from time to time for offering his unabashed opinion. Criticize him for being open.
Sure you can. That's what we do.
But, you know, those are two guys, John, as you recall, that were not thrilled with the spotlight. And, you know, when your talent finally comes to fruition on the tour, but then you realize what superstardom entails, it's not for everyone. And, you know, Annika Sorenstam famously, you know, afraid, you know, at times to win tournaments earlier in his career because she didn't want to give a victory speech. Things can work both ways in this game.
Yeah, I remember doing a Pro-Am dinner with Davis when I asked him about the fame part of it, and he said,
Aaron Rye, 2 gloves. Mentioned it yesterday as one of the anomalies given this monster season that we've had He's one of 2 Scottish Open champions
Now
in the
on
field.
tee, from the United States, WebbSimpson.
In Memphis, Ned, you know about the conditions in Tennessee in the summer. This has actually been a fairly cool week by Memphis standards around here.
It has been low humidity, although today it's going to get a little steamy.
They were actually forecasting winds up to 10 miles an hour, which doesn't sound like much, but top 10. He's number 9 in the Ryder Cup, by the way. And a win today by Harris English bumps him up into the top 6, which actually moves Xander Schauffele out of the top 6, the Olympic gold medalist. Now, with Stricker having 6 picks, you expect Schauffele to be on that team. And I might argue, even though he doesn't have a major this year.
Imagine that in a season that had 6 majors and players, that a guy that didn't win any of those could be considered for Player of the Year. But as you point out, you win 4 times, you're on the ballot.
Wait till he takes the camera.
What are we thinking about Phil Mickelson?
Deserving of a pick, which I thought was a pretty candid comment by Mickelson. He thinks he needs to have some big finishes here to get Stricker's attention, even with the PGA title at Kiowa.
It's been a long time since an American won the PGA Championship and was not on the Ryder Cup team if it was a Ryder Cup year. Sean McKeel was the last PGA champion that wasn't on the Ryder Cup team.
He's from right here in Memphis.
His daddy was a FedEx Cup pilot, or FedEx pilot. Good shot of the marsh, and he hit it up there around the green, and I was blown away by not only the athleticism, but by the attitude.
Second hole Homa. There's another one. That's what we expect. All he went on to do was not make a single bogey for the tournament and win by a mile.
A little bit of a hanging lie there for Stewart. No problem, though.
This is an opening birdie.
Start here, you know, oftentimes Mickelson the other day was 4 under after 4, and you start thinking, boy, someone's going to go crazy low, but then those water holes start to come into play throughout the rest of the front 9 and the back 9. Another good putt, and things start to get a little topsy.
It's a good parallel to Sellers and being the, as you said, in the big chair at his hometown event. That means so much.
Yeah, big day for the state of Tennessee. Peyton Manning going in the Hall of Fame, so we'll be paying attention to that, and a lot of sports fans will be watching the final round here.
We had our reception at a place called the Honors Course in Ottawa, and unbeknownst to us, Peyton was down there. This was his 2nd year on tour with some of his offensive linemen. He was treating them to a weekend of golf, and they had ran out of Homa's on the tee at the 3rd as we welcome in Billy Kratzert.
Morning, Ned.
Yeah, good morning to you. 9 o'clock local time.
That's an emphatic to the right.
That is.
Couldn't tell.
Ooh, that could be really good right there.
Yeah, this one down the left side there, Billy, fading back towards the middle. That one's in perfect prime time position. It's well worth the wait.
Together, it's just a great feeling to get out there on the golf course. Things aren't going well, all you need to do is look down at the shoes and say, you know what, all's good.
That's right.
A little bit of a chip on his shoulder.
Somewhere back in there is Robert Streb. There he is, wearing his traditional purple on Sunday. It's just getting it back in position, it looks like, from our vantage point.
Yeah, absolutely sitting not the best down there in the rough. Also a tree in front of him and water ahead. Oh boy, this one's clipped the limb and it's headed towards the drink. I'm not sure if it's going to get in there. And that's an unlucky break here for
Torrey Pines is tough. And then, of course, the win at Mayakoba, tight golf course as well.
StewartChink.
Well, this one on a beautiful line. the kitchen sink, Stewart. Down the left side, it's going to hit that bank and feed down towards the pin.
That's the ball, Homa. And Colin looked like it stayed out of the water.
Yeah, it did. He got a lucky break there, or I should say an unlucky break hitting that branch, and then tricky chip from up there for Max Homa here at the third.
That's going to be a fun one for us to watch. I don't know about the play. He's going to have to hit some kind of... And...
I love this golf swing. Got an inch down the grip.
He needs a really good round today. You see, 133.